welcome to an unexpected live stream here at my house. For those who don't know, I live up in the foothills of the coastal range, and at about 4-5 o'clock this morning, our power went out at the house, and that meant, and as you can see, the internet connection is a bit bad here, and that's because we're having to use a backup internet connection. So I'm just going to show you now. Here is a cable running all the way upstairs into our server closet. And in our server closet is a power cable that runs back down to the truck. And earlier on today, when the power went out, we ran all of our servers and all of our internet connections using the truck. Now, because we have just literally had the power come back on, we're able to transfer the power back into the wall. So I'm going to do that now. There we go. Everything is running back from the mains. Thank you to PGE for fixing our power. How much delay was there for power transfer? Well, here's the thing. So, here's the thing. Our vehicle to home system is not fully operational yet. There's something wrong with it. Every time our electricians try and connect a circuit to it, it's causing issues with the truck. And Sunrun are aware of it, and Sunrun are working with our local installers here in Portland to try and fix. So for now, we're running power from the bed of the truck all the way through the house. And so these are the power cables. They're all 100 amp cable, not 100 amp, 20 amp. And we're running them through to different things in the house. So the refrigerator was running on that, and we made coffee and tea this morning from it. Right now, we're just going to run everything back as is. Something's beeping over there. I think that's the other electric vehicle charging stations. Sorry, honey. So I'm going to go over here and give it a bit of a whack. There we are. One of those is broken. So let me just turn this off and I'll give it a bit of a whack. If you ever have a juice box that misbehaves, they have relays in them that sometimes get stuck, and you just give them a bit of a whack and then they work. So that charging station, those two charging stations are our spare charging stations. Everything else is working as normal. But I want to report that the truck, even though we used one circuit in the house, this circuit here is powered from the vehicle to home system. It's the only, actually there's two circuits. So there's this circuit, which my wife uses in the shop. And then there is another circuit outside, which is our service circuit for the air conditioning. Those two circuits run on the truck. Everything else runs on the vehicle to home system. Everything else was run from things in the truck bed. So I'm going to open the door to the shop, and let me show you. So this is what we have. Yeah, the percussive maintenance, eh? So we had to actually turn the truck on. The Ford vehicle to home system did not automatically kick in. This did not automatically kick in. And we've only got the stuff that's in the span panel at the moment. So there's just two circuits right now. These two are not actually connected. Actually, this one is not connected. There are two circuits plus a charger that can be powered off the truck. Nothing else at the moment, because this little box of tricks keeps erroring out and causing issues. Sunrun, we're waiting for a service call. It was October they started to put this in. It's still not fully commissioned yet, because stuff. But you can see it has switched back on. And now I can get into the truck and we can see we started, come on, focus. We started with, I think it was 90 miles of range. No, sorry, 95%. And now it says 88. So we plugged in about just before 9 a.m. And in that time, we've gone from 95% to 88%, and it's coming up to noon. So our power was off for about 5 or 6 hours. I'm going to unplug all of the power cables from the bed of the truck. And I'm going to just take these all back into the house because I really don't want to stay out in the wet. And if we can wind up all the cables in the shop where it's nice and dry, we do that. So the power is back on. Thank you, PGE. You rock. Because the local linemen know we have this truck and they're really excited about it, I kind of half expected them to make us the last house to go back on because they know we have the truck, and I kind of anticipated that they were going to go, yeah, they're fine, they've got the truck. But obviously they didn't. They put everybody else on as well. So let me just make sure the bed is closed. Gonna close the bed of the truck because it's chucking it down. We've had torrential rain and it's really horrible. So everything is back on. The truck is off. It is charging, which is good. Chickens are wet and fed up. Dog wants to play with chickens because that's what dog does. Hello, did you move? One of my chickens moved from one side of the nest box to the other and she still hasn't laid an egg. So, no eggs yet. Come on, dog. And we are going to close this up. I'm going to put my partner's car back in, plug it back in, even though it's fully charged or nearly fully charged, because it will help the battery stay warm. Plug that in. Charging panel, which I don't think you guys have seen. The span charging panel, which we've got on review. Again, it's not fully commissioned yet, so we can't review it. It is powered. It can be powered off the truck, so we can actually transfer power from one vehicle to another, which I think is kind of neat. And now we just have a lot of cables to wind up. Ghost, come on, baby, in you come. Ghost, come. All right, let's shut the door. Something I forgot to do. It's the first thing I forgot to do. When the power went off, I actually plugged the garage door opener in the house, the one that was provided by the home integration system. We're kind of not happy with the home integration system. I'm going to give Sunrun a chance to fix it, but right now it's not working as it should. So I just need to put this down. Please excuse me. I'm going to have to plug my garage door opener back into the power that is in the wall here. That is good. An air handler in the garage or a dedustifier, a dust extractor. So we'll plug that in there. There we go. So will in fact close. And that's something I didn't realise, if you have a garage door that relies on power to open and you want to be able to get to your truck to open it. But there we go. The home integration system is being a pain. It's not fully installed yet, so we haven't paid for it. We will be paying full price for it, about $9,000. Even if it's a high current load that is less than 10 kilowatts, the system errors out and crashes. Ford are helping us fix it. Sunrun are helping us fix it. Nobody has a solution right now. I'm kind of ticked off because I wanted not to have cable through the house. We also wanted the the home integration system because we have a well and we have an off-grid septic system. So we needed the home integration system to run those confidently when the power went out, even if we had to turn off power to other things. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. So, if you'll excuse me, I am now going to go and wrap up all of these cables. What gauge of wire did we use? What, for the cables? I think these are 12 or 10. They're really chunky. They're chunky boys. These are chunky cables. They're rated for 20 amp power transfer, and we're only using them for effectively much less than that. So when the power went out, we had one of those cables run to our refrigerator. One cable ran upstairs to the server room. The server room was pulling the most power, like 1.5 kilowatts. And then we had another cable running to operate the television. So we were watching YouTube with a blanket over us, and we had a little portable heater in there. And then one cable was kind of allowed us to use the microwave and the coffee maker and the kettle, which was pretty cool. And my wife is being very smart and refilling all of the water bottles that we used up. We've got big water bowsers in the cupboard under the stairs. We should fill those up with water too. They're clean.
Guarded by a small wizard.
No, they're not. So there we go. That is how we were able to keep things running despite there being a storm. It also meant that, so yesterday or the day before, we decided that we weren't going to use Starlink. A couple of weeks ago, we decided we didn't want to use Starlink because Elon Musk. And we cancelled our Starlink. And then a couple of days ago, when this bad weather started, we noticed that our local Wi-Fi connection, which is beamed down the valley, is very unreliable in bad weather because it relies on every building down the valley that bounces the signal from one house to another, has power and is connected. And here in rural Oregon, our nearest neighbors are, 400 yards that way. But when you're talking half a mile between some houses, one house can be off grid, can be off power, and the next one can be on. And so relying on that internet connection down the valley is not reliable. We wanted to not use Starlink, and unfortunately, while there is 5G internet available in our area, it's not available here at the house. We just don't have a good enough signal. We've tried antenna boosters, it doesn't work. So what we ended up doing was we've unfortunately reinstated Starlink, and we're kind of glad we did, because when the power went out earlier, Starlink was the only internet we could use. We don't like paying for it. We don't like having to use it, but it's the only option right now. And when we're running a business from home, if this is a work day, when this happened, we'd have lost a whole day of work, almost a whole day of work, because the internet would have been off. So it's frustrating, but at the same time, kind of the best we can do right now. That's the situation. Anyway, my in-laws are coming over. They travelled up from the Midwest, and they're coming over. So we're now going to make sure that everything is clean, and we've tidied all the cables away. We have to do those ones reverse. We have to put the plug end on first. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'll get off and help you. My wife just pull that face again. No, she just pulled the face. It was something like this. Because I told her she had to. Anyway, I'm going to go help my wife sort out cables. But the truck worked. It's just that the home integration system didn't work. So, yeah. Sunrun, now you're not worth 10 grand. Keep evolving, everyone. Oh, and by the way, today there was supposed to be a clip show going out It's not going to happen because of the power cut and the bad weather and everything else. We're just behind. So instead of the clip show, which may go out later this week, tomorrow we'll probably do our transparency report. So tune in around noon local time. So that's about 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. And we'll do our transparency report, and that will give me a little bit of extra time to try and get the clip show out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Keep evolving.